which is nice against a deck that can't really close out that fast and doesn't gain a lot of life. But the philosophies of both decks are the same.
Well, we see here in game number 3 here between Mardu Dragons and Green-White Devotion. Again, we're going to have a lot of Mardu Dragons this weekend, that is for sure. Here's a Thunderbreak region that's being revealed to Draconic Roar. That took care of an Elvish Mystic. Green-White Devotion, a deck we have not seen a ton of really past Grand Prix Miami. It had its breakout performance that weekend. It won the tournament, of course, in the hands of Dan Cicchetti, and then disappeared.
Yep.
Certainly a metagame deck, and it was a very, very, very good one for that tournament. Castelli does have land number 3, and this will be Deathwish Raptor number 1. So we're going to head back Peeples' way and see how this one breaks. I do think that overall Mardu Dragons is actually pretty well positioned against these devotion strategies.
Yeah, you can still lose games by getting overpowered. The Mardu deck's mana base is not ideal. There's ways to lose the game, but the recipe here is very good.
There's a Goblin Rabble Master. In some of the Mardu Dragons decks, you will find this card, and others you will not. Some prefer to just only have really flyers and really not even very many 2-drops, honestly. The Goblin token has been put on the battlefield. It, of course, will get eaten alive by Deathwish Raptor. And we'll go back Castelli's way. There is a forest. Here's a Deathwish Raptor attack. Peeples with no interest in blocking for relatively obvious reasons. Now here is Pelucranos. So in this matchup, Rabble Master can get outclassed pretty quickly.
You can get some draws, especially on the play where you just have a lot of removal spells, and Rabble Master can win the game before Devotion gets much of anything going on. But more often, the game looks like this, where Rabble Master is generating tokens that aren't worth very much, and a 3-mana 2/2 is just much smaller than what the Green Devotion deck is bringing to the table.
A Goblin's on the way. Pelucranos is going to eat that too. Goblin Rabble Master had no interest in attacking.
Though if all of David's follow-up here, the only castable spell in his hand, I believe, is Kolaghan's Command, I would have sent in the Rabble Master too.
Try to finish off Pelucranos.
If he blocks with Pelucranos, then you get to shock and make him discard, and that's pretty good here. Certainly better than the alternative, which is your Rabble Master's dead.
Yep, which it is now. Now here's a pretty healthy attack. Castelli with the Monstrosity activation took care of the Rabble Master. Here's Kolaghan's Command. This will be rebuy the Rabble Master and I believe make Castelli take 2 points of damage. Temple is the draw, but Peeples is already pretty low. Now he does have a copy of Crux of Fate in hand that he's looking to try to work towards, and this Temple is going to have to find another black source of mana as he only has 1 swamp at this point.
Yeah, he has to basically chump block.
If there's a Goblin token, that'll come across for 1 point of damage, but that Goblin Rabble Master is on chump blocking duty if it even gets the opportunity to do that. If Castelli has a card like Traboka's Command, this one's all over. There's the attack. Deathwish Raptor is going to knock Peeples down to 3.
Josh Cornett.
Now there's a copy of Hornet Nest.
Josh Cornett to the main event.
Followed with the Master of the Unseen. That's a good threat to have post-Crux.
Yep, some good insurance there. And not a card that Mardu Dragons easily gets off the table.
The draw does not appear to be a swamp for the Crux of Fate.
If David can produce a creature, though, he can still chump block.
Yep.
The problem is he's getting into the spot where even if he draws a sweeper, Corey can just end of turn, mastery, and maybe finish off the game, but he's not dead just yet.
Windswept Teeth was the draw there for Castelli. He'll play that as his land for the turn. Here are the attackers. There will be some blockers. There are the blocks. Deathwish Raptor and Thunderbreak Regent will trade. Pelucranos will eat that Goblin alive. And just pass the turn back with the Master of the Unseen activation at the ready. Peeples will draw cards, a copy of Soulfire Grandmaster. He's got 2 of those in his hand at this point. His mana is a real issue here. Only 1 white source of mana, 2 basic mountains, and then a basic swamp.
Yeah, quantity and quality, both an issue right now.
There is the Soulfire Grandmaster. Pass that turn back. Good Master of the Unseen activation. It's a little manifest action. Gonna sacrifice a land here, will Castelli. Gonna go down at 14. A 4-star Plains on the way. That white bordered forest, it's just, it's too much. And he got to unmorph. That's a pretty big turn. I think that puts a wrap on this too. The mastery activation was, of course, of crew fix, which is perfect because he gets to unmorph that, get Death Mist Raptor back from the graveyard, and now we get to see what should be a lethal attack unless Peeples has a removal spell here. Plains will trigger the Courser. We'll see the top card of Castelli's deck here in just a moment, which is an Ichthos. Here are the attackers, and that is going to get the job done. Corey Castelli is going to win this match here over David Peeples, 2-1. Green-white Devotion, not green-red. Takes down Mardu Dragons.